who has worked tirelessly on the issues of criminal justice and social reform. He's a brother who works over at Citizen Action Network, and he's here to talk about the Forward 13 project. Jalil, would you please come and speak on it?
Bonjour, guten Tag, Papain, Erin, whatever native language is, I speak to you in solidarity and peace. I am Jalil Muntaqim. I work for Citizen Action. I'm the Special Project Coordinator for Citizen Action in the state of New York. The piece that we are engaged in today, what I'm going to talk to you about today, is the question of 13th floor. What is 13th floor? Well, many of you know that slavery was abolished in 1865, right? Child slavery abolished in 1865. But many of us do not have a full understanding of the law and how the law has been applied. In this instance, what we call the 13th Amendment, which reads, neither slavery or involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States or in its jurisdiction except for those who are duly convicted of a crime. I want you to take that in for just a minute, just for a minute. That exception clause. But what does it inform us? That informs us that slavery in America still exists. That is, it has been transformed into a different form. And the form is the penal slave system. Penal slave system. Right? They make exorbitant profits off the labor of prisoners, right? Prisoners, I want to take this word, look at this word a little bit, right? Exorbitant profit of prisoners' labor for pennies on the dollar. If you go to any state office in New York State, you see the furniture, the cabinets, everything that's in there is made by state prisoners, right? The recent, when Cuomo was in office, right, he had sanitation, what do you call it, sanitary, hand sanitary, made by prisoners for the entire state, pennies on the dollar, right? And so what we're finding is that, for the most part, this is designed, right? It has been designed for over 400 years, right? At least 200 years, 200 years, 300 years for 1865. And so now is the time for us to really come to recognize these conditions, these circumstances, and how it has impacted our community. We talk about the Poor People's Campaign, and we recognize the Poor People's Campaign in terms of crime. The procedure of crime is what? Poverty. Poverty. So we have to address the issue of poverty in order to really deal with the issues of crime and punishment here in the United States. That's a really big picture. But if we look at the big picture, it is important for us to understand how what conditions are today, how they impact our community. You heard Dr. Martin Luther King talk about that we're asking for the United States to do what it says on paper. Right? On paper. It's promissory note. On paper. Right? That's what Dr. King said. Well, one thing that's certainly done on paper is fulfill the obligation, fulfill what the words are in the 13th Amendment. Right? We have what we call mass incarceration. It is designed. It's purposeful. We have what we call school-to-prison pipeline. School-to-prison pipeline. What kind of conditions create that? Why did that even have to be created? Because they have a system of slavery whereby the state is receiving profits. If you want to profit, meant pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. That's real. That's the reality of the situation. And we find that by procedures, by regulations, by laws, right? We're creating conditions for which we're ushering our young people into a system of mass incarceration, into a system that actually is called penal slavery. It's not our words. It's not Jalil's words. It's not Citizen Action's words. Right? This is the law. It's written that way. There's a case called Ruffin versus Commonwealth. Ruffin versus Commonwealth. Check it out. And it states emphatically that prisoners are slaves of the state. That's what it says. Right? Jones versus North Carolina Prisoners Union. Where prisoners tried to organize a union. there is denied that. Why? Because the court says that you have not the right, the civil right to assemble, First Amendment. One, and two, that you are considered a slave of the state. Understand that? Slavery still exists here in New York State for the last 150 years. Now we have two courageous legislators. One named Senator Myrie, and one named Harvey Epstein, Assemblyman Harvey Epstein. Right? And they put forward two bills. First bill, the End Slavery Act, or the End Compulsory Labor. Right? Because if people go into the prison system, into the slave system, they're compelled to work. Hey, well, that's slavery. Right? Child slavery is compelled to work. Penal slavery, you're compelled to work. If you don't work, you may lose your commissary. You may not get your vision. You may be doctored or prevented from being released from prison when you go to the parole board. Right? You are compelled to work. You are staying in a cell for 23 hours a day. That's inhumane. We live in a system that is basically operating on conditions from work, a legacy of chattel slavery. It's been brought into an institutional development. Right? And although we are ignorant to the law, we have to suffer the consequences of the law, even by virtue of our ignorance. But those who control these systems, they know the law. And they treat the individuals in these systems as slaves. Right? As slaves. They treat them that way. Brutality, murder, getting beaten up. Right? Creating starving. They got what they call a loaf in San Prison. Where if you have disciplinary, they need you to loaf twice a day. Starvation. Right? These are the conditions in prison system today that reminiscent of that of child slavery. And those who control, they know that the people that they're warning over are considered by the law slaves. That's hard. It's hard for us to comprehend. It's hard for us to take in. It's hard for us to internalize. Understand that. It's hard, difficult, right? Because we've been told otherwise. We've been indoctrinated into the belief that slavery in America has been abolished. It has not. This is a human rights issue. It must be the poor people's campaign issue. It is a human rights issue. And we all should rise up in our own humanity to deal with it. Now, there's two bills that I made mention, right? One bill is End Compulsory Labor by Myrie, right? And the other bill is called Fair and Opportunities for Incarcerated Workers Act by Epstein. Right? Now he's changing, we know that language is important, right? And I just want to say, let's say language is important, right? Why? Because it determines how we create our own stories, our narratives. Alright? And so for prisoners, if we use the word, now that they know that it equates to what? Slave, right? It's synonymous. Prisoner, slave, synonymous. Right? But we have to change the narrative. We have to change the idea of who these individuals are. And we say that today, we are changing the name as Baseball Epstein has put in his bill, incarcerated workers. As workers from into prison, they're working while they're in prison, and hopefully they will have the mentality to be a worker as they return back into our community. So if we change the narrative, change the identity of these individuals, right, from prisoners to slaves to incarcerated workers, and perhaps we change the dynamic of how they're being treated, and then the time upon when they're re-released. Two bills, right? And we're asking you to join us in this campaign, right, to change 150 years of penal slavery in New York State. This is major, this is huge, this is big. Because if we do it here, as New York is a trendsetter across this country, it may be very well replicated. 7 states have already done so, including Alabama, took slavery out of their constitution, out of the word of the state constitution. Right? We want to make New York State the 8th. The 8th. Right? Citizen action. I have some documents and papers here, right, for us. They're a little dated, because based on we trying to organize our meetings, right? From 22nd and on the 12th, yesterday, Thursday. Right? So, although again, they have the information in here, that you can contact me, contact Citizen Action, and and we involved and engaged in this process, right? We, on February 1st, we'll be having buses going from here in Buffalo, Rochester, going to Albany to lobby our legislators for passing this bill, passing these two bills, right? And if we're successful in doing so, we will make history in the city of Rochester, which is the city of the legacy of who? The greatest abolitionists that we know of, right? Contemporary abolitionists. And that's what we must become. We have to take up that mantle today, in 26th, in what was it, 22nd century? Right? We have to take up that mantle, right? From that of the 18th century, right? We have to do the unfinished business. The unfinished business of ending slavery in all of its former manifestations, as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights tells us to do. Right? And slavery and involuntary servitude shall be abolished in all of its forms. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That's why I say it's a human rights issue. That's why it is. Right? And for those who are loving people, who understand the nature of our situation, who understand how poor and poverty creates the conditions for crime, and we have to deal with the issues of poverty. We have to deal with the mentality of this criminal behavior that we have in our community, and subject to the conditions that have been created by those in control. Ms. Knowles raised the question of billionaires, the cost of war. The cost of war, right? You have 740 billionaires in the United States. 740 billionaires, 740 people. Right? Families, corporations that control $6.9999 trillion. All wealth of Western Europe in the hands of 740 people here in the United States. Right? And we are fighting over the crumbs off their table. The cost of war. Right? The cost of war. It's not only the engagement, right, of actual hostilities, the cost of war. It's even more than that. It's much subtler than that. In terms of how we have been treated, how we've been codified, how we've been trained, how we've been indoctrinated to accept this reality as being real, being right, as being righteous. I just want to say this here. God said in the beginning, Jesus said, right, He has sent to proclaim the release of the captives. That's Luke 4:18. Right? There's also reading in Isaiah, which also records the Spirit of God and mentioned that to proclaim liberty for the captives and opening the prison to those who are bound. And that's also in the Bible. Right? We're in the church. Right? We have to go to the objective to. If you want to fulfill the obligation of Esau, fulfill the obligation of Jesus, right? Fulfill that obligation, free the prisoner. Right? Maybe not literally, but we will free some of the condition of their oppression and repression, right? And their exploitation. I thank you, my brother here, giving me the opportunity to speak to you, and I hope that you will join us in this historic campaign, right? To end compulsory labor and to grant prisoners the opportunities to gain rightful employment as incarcerated workers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Jalil. And for those of you who do not know, Brother Jalil speaks from a life of experience.
How you
He
doing?
spent 49 years incarcerated.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay?
At what time?
He knows what he's
When you do
talking
it?
about. He walks the walk.